I'm gonna try to do this in one go. Tamron's new 17-70 f2.8 Di3. Tamron's new 17-70 f2.8 Di3A RXD lens. That was right. I forgot the VC. Did I say VC? Tamron's new 17-70 f2.8 Di3A VC RXD lens is a versatile queen. I got so nervous from saying it correctly that I forgot what to say after that. This new Tamron 17-70 f2.8 Di3A VC RXD is a great new option for X mount users. I feel good. It's a long name for a long lens that gets you an extremely versatile focal range with a consistent f2.8 aperture, making it a really unique and valuable lens for X mount users. So we took the opportunity to play with Tamron's new lens to make a short product video of DJI's new RSC gimbal. This gave us an opportunity to test out the lens in a studio setting, seeing how the autofocus performs, how it performs from 70 to 17 millimeters in its focal range, testing out the VC image stabilization built into the lens, and really see if it's a versatile enough option to make it a one lens shoot. Spoiler alert, it was. Before we get into the product video, let's break down the build and some of the features on the lens to give you a full view onto what this Tamron lens offers the user. To start, on an APS-C sensor, the 17-70 focal range is gonna get you the equivalent on a full frame sensor of about 25.5 millimeters to 105 millimeters. This lens allows you to step down to f2.8 throughout its entire focal range, making it a really unique lens that I think is going to bring a lot of value to the market. The lens is dust and moisture resistant with a fluorine coating to help reduce any smudging or oil on the glass itself. It also does have Tamron's VC in body stabilization in the lens, helping to reduce any handheld shakiness you may get out of it. And in terms of design, it fits in with Tamron's other lens lineup in terms of simplicity. It doesn't come with any bells or whistles really. There's no aperture ring, there's no AF to MF switch, there's no custom buttons. What you do get is a really smooth zoom ring towards the front and a pretty smooth focusing ring towards the bottom of the lens itself. It's a really minimal build, but the lens is able to maintain a relatively lightweight considering the range you're getting out of it. As for what the lens is made up of, you have two molded glass aspherical elements in the lens, one hybrid aspherical glass element, and two low dispersion lens elements. You're also getting 16 elements in 12 groups, a 67mm filter size, and the lens is going to weigh a total of 530 grams. This is also a telescopic zoom lens, making it a bit more challenging to use on something like a gimbal, because when you have it from 17-70, it's obviously going to throw off the weight of your gimbal a bit. So depending on your preferences and the way you shoot, this could either be annoying or a feature that you do like. As for the shoot itself, we kept things pretty minimal with an infinite black backdrop, using our aperture 120D with a grid overhead our product. We also had the Nova set up as our key light, shooting it through a bit more diffusion with a grid on that as well. Then we had two 2-foot Nanlite Pavo tubes, one set to orange and one set to teal, just to use as a little bit of fill light and to add some more dynamic color to our product itself. Off the bat, shooting completely in autofocus, this lens paired with Fujifilm's X-T4 mirrorless camera was silent and whip fast. This was especially useful shooting a product in constant motion and in a pretty low contrast situation. Obviously, the gimbal itself is black and we used a black backdrop, so there wasn't a huge contrast between our subject and the background itself. And even so, where some autofocus could suffer here, the lens did a great job keeping up with the movements required. Being able to rely on this lens's autofocus for 100% of the shoot made things really easy and go very smoothly. My next impressions and the real goal of this test was to see if this lens as a 17-70mm focal range could cover the entirety of the shoot. And I have to say, I was extremely impressed with how it did at both the wide end and the telephoto end of the lens. That's 17mm, which is equivalent to something like 25.5 on a full frame camera, was the perfect width to get your hero shots without distorting the subject too much. But what really impressed me and what was really handy for this shoot specifically was that telephoto range, that 70mm focal length specifically. At 70mm, the lens has a minimum focusing distance of 15.4 inches, making it a semi-viable macro lens for product shoots. No, let me say, this is not going to replace your macro lens specifically, but given that it is a 17-70 and you're getting so much value from the wide end to the telephoto end, having the option to get pretty close to your subject at 70mm and get these nice detailed shots of a product was really valuable in this lens, especially for this shoot specifically. For product photography and product videography, being able to get so close to your subject at both 17mm and especially at 70mm for those semi-faux macro shots was invaluable for me, and definitely my favorite feature of this lens paired with the fast autofocus. I do totally see this lens becoming the new go-to for any run and gun, do-it-all type photographers and videographers, considering you get that 17-70 focal range with an f2.8 constant aperture. That's a big deal for an APS-C lens for X-mount users specifically. With the price sitting at $799, it does put it in the higher tier of lenses, but keep in mind you're getting that 17-70 super versatile lens. This lens might give you the option to, instead of having two different lenses in your camera bag, just use this one lens to do it all for you, ultimately potentially saving you some money in the long run. From its autofocusing performance, to its minimum focusing distance at both 17 and 70mm, to its constant f2.8 aperture, this lens is going to do a lot for you. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Tamron's new lens, if you think it's going to be a valuable addition to your X-mount arsenal. So please let me know in the comments below what you think of it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider leaving a like in this video and subscribing, as well as turning on your notifications for more videos in the future. And that's going to do it for us today. We'll see you next time.